You're watching the exclusive sneak peek of NGBN TV. Like never before, streaming content for men is now available, with more to come. Join us on this journey as we introduce you to content creators and shows that are here to inspire, educate, entertain, celebrate, and support men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. We can't do this without you, so please enjoy this sneak peek, but also share it with your friends and family, and help us connect with companies, organizations, brands, or nonprofits who align with our mission to save men's lives. This is the NGBN TV Sneak Peek.
All right, hey everybody, it's Bruno on NB on the NGBN.TV network.
Canadians, man, come on, bro.
What I do?
NGBN.TV network.
On
There we go.
on the Google.
So here's what's going on. What show is this? We're on the NGBN.TV network. It's on Roku. It's on Amazon Fire, and it's on Android TV. You have to go there and you have to download the app. All right, you have to go there and the Android phone. Just download the app, man, and you get all our content streaming live. Okay, now we can start the interview.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Hey man, I can't even remember where I am today, but we are live. We're live.
To your defense, we've been going a minute. We've been here since 8 a.m. getting our credentials and all that. Oh my gosh.
We only have one mic going on here, so we're live in Super Bowl Radio Row. It is absolutely unreal. I know this is not your first time, but this is the first time in Las Vegas. I'm here with my friend Dave O'Shea, who got that credentially approved when you played for the Montreal Machine of the World Football League. But you know what? Let's spend a couple minutes, introduce yourself and everything like that.
So, the only time I actually say it like that is because I'm speaking to a Canadian. Otherwise, it's just DeRocher. Anyway, so yeah, I played up in Seattle in 88 and 89 after playing football at San Diego State University. And then took a year off and then tried out for the World Football League, American football, and ended up at Montreal. And it was kind of neat in French last name. Of course, everyone thought I spoke French. And yeah. But I learned to cuss in there you go in French. So and since then, I did a little bit of acting. I spent 20 years as a financial advisor, and now I have a couple of shows. We do Sideline Sports. We do Hawk Talk with Walter Thurman. We talk all things Seahawks football, and both those shows, of course, are on the NGBN.TV network. So that's pretty much all. Yeah, and I'm the president of the NFLPA for Orange County. I sit on the former Players Advisory Board. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
You know, and before we get going, have some fun over here. I need to tell everybody that this doesn't happen without NGBN.TV live on all your devices. And I'm not shamelessly just plugging. It's a great cause. It's a great network, and it's also Sideline Sports. We're going to bring the boys out from Sideline Sports. They're having a great time. I think the police are still clearing them because they're just bad dudes over there somewhere. But you know, why don't we start by talking how you got involved in here? Because we can talk football all day, all night, but really it's a bigger cause, right?
Yeah, it's much more interesting than talking about the machine. Because we were talking about it. So Coach Jacques Dussault, hey, Coach, you're listening, bro. You were great, and we love you. We still talked about you. Jeff Novak, Bob Kula, Roman Latuso, are all offensive linemen. We still get together on occasion. And Coach, we just had a blast playing for you up in Montreal. We were talking also crazy in Montreal. You like hockey up there? Yeah, so after the game, I go to La Casa Sport for you, in that area, and there was our game playing in the corner on a 19-inch TV, and there's like 48 TVs with hockey, right? And of course they loved their beer. Before we sat down, I had like 3 pitchers of beer sitting there, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. How did I get here? It was a windy road, and last year was here on Radio Row, and I got interviewed by JB, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you like to be a co-host with us?" And I said, "Sure." You know, I've done some podcasts. I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts, and I thought, well, it might be fun being on this side. And And I had no idea at that time where that was going to take me. And it took me then to launching another show called Hawk Talk with Walter Thurman III. And we talk all things Seahawks football. We bring in other former players, and then we bring in a 12. So every single week we bring in a random fan that gets to sit and just talk Seahawks football with us, man. And so it's a blast. And then we've been doing these shows and started, gain a little bit of ground. And then we come across Ian with this opportunity to make a difference with men. Men in the demographic that we're working with, men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, are 70% more likely to commit suicide than any other demographic. And men, we don't do a great job of talking about stuff. Women, they live longer than us. Why? Because if they sneeze, they go to the hospital. We can have a 2x4 sticking out of our head and hoping it's going to come out in the next day or two, right? So we just don't do a real good job of getting not only physical health, but we don't do a good job of our mental health. Once again, women do a great job of, man, if I'm bugging my wife, she's calling 15 of her friends and they're talking about it for 2 hours. We just keep it to ourselves, So if we could create a platform where men can talk to men and share our stories and say, hey, brother, I went through that too. How cool is that? If I were to tell you something, I went through that too. It's how I got through it, or let's get through it together. That's what this platform is about. It's about having fun, creating content where you can go and have a good time. But it's also, well, what if I need some help? Well, we're creating that platform too through our website. So it is pretty awesome. I think it's kind of a calling, it's really been a lot of fun for me. 7 years ago, I ended up on a park bench. I had lost everything, and I could have used a brother to talk to, So we share those kind of stories.
And we appreciate you talking about that, Dave. And the one thing before we go any further, ngbn.tv on all your devices, on Roku TV. I keep saying that, but also I want to throw out a big shout out and see them right now. Ian and Jenna putting this thing on together. It really, I keep saying this all the time. It's really easy to consume digital media. It is a bugger to put it together, and the amount of time and effort, conversations, and all that kind of stuff that has gone on just to get to Radio Row. The security you get in here. I can't even imagine me getting through here. They don't even know about witness protection or anything, but that's okay. We'll leave that for another day. But it's crazy on the amount of security and detail that you have to do. So kudos to you guys, ngbn.tv. The one thing I want to ask you is that, we can talk about the career and having fun and the football side, but that goes by like this. You've been helping so many, in your case, NFL players with the PA that have no idea what's going on, and they played in the year, a couple of years, and they kind of wander a little bit, and you add some clarity to that. Why don't you add some of that? Because that's saving lives too, right?
And thanks for reminding me of something else I do. I actually am the founder and CEO of the First and Goal Project, which is my nonprofit, and I launched it because I was not aware about how many former players struggle in transition, and so I decided I want to make a difference there, and I'm also an NFL certified transition coach, and helping that group of guys to find their way, and through that I found, man, veterans could really use some help. And so we work a lot with veterans, and then I've taken it yet even further, and that's people with barriers, people coming out of incarceration, coming out of treatment or rehab, domestic violence or traffic. They've been through it. They've been through a lot of trauma, and a lot of times those folks just need a little bit of empowerment and encouragement, and then a hand up and help them get in a new direction. And so that's what we do at the First and Goal Project. With the NFLPA, we do a lot with our former players and helping them get their benefits, what they're entitled to. And then, as you mentioned, getting involved in the community. We do a lot with veterans and supporting veterans. We just did a killer event. We went down to Camp Pendleton, and the Marines 3-5 Battalion, the Dark Horse Battalion, had a delayed deployment, and they missed their Christmas party. So Mariners Church put on an event for 700 Marines, and they reached out to me and said, Dave, can you bring a former player? And I said, I don't know. How about 3 former Super Bowl champions? And so they go, oh, my gosh, that'd be great. So Walter Thurman, Todd Light with the Rams, first-round draft pick, and then Matt Vanderbeek, a buddy of mine who won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. went down with their Super Bowl rings, and we hung out with the Marines, you know, and had a great time. And we do a lot of things like that.
And you mentioned some people coming out, transitioning out of jail, and now we're being serious. We're gonna have some fun though, but you know, it's really interesting. Some people ask me all the time, is like, you know, how can people be giving and this kind of stuff that you're doing with the veterans that are forgotten sometimes, and you do find them at the corner begging for money and destitute and everything like that. And I always ask people, you know, if your car was on fire in the middle of the street, would you accept their help to pull you out? And the answer is always yes. So why can't we make an extra effort to help some of these people whose cars aren't on fire, metaphorically, but they need our help? And I really appreciate the fact that you're helping the vets. I think everybody does. And I think that, you know, sideline sports guys, that's the first thing they talk about when they talk about you, right? Football was kind of like the icing on the cake, I guess. But if we turn it around, talk a little football. You've been around a lot of Super Bowls, and this is the first one in Sin City. And I got to tell you, this is my first Super Bowl on the ground, and it is pretty impressive. But how has it changed? Because you've seen, you've been alive for all of them, but I don't think we've seen all of them.
Are you asking me how football's changed, Bruno? Because that's a whole nother show, brother. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Well, you know, fortunately, it's still tackle football, kind of. Yeah. But it has changed quite a bit, you know, and I've interviewed so many guys and know so many of my buddies that played in Super Bowls, past and present. It's over the top. I mean, you look around here, this is just media row. We're getting ready to head over to the stadium. I can't wait for that, you know, to interview the teams as they come through. It's just mayhem for these players. And so I couldn't imagine navigating all of that and preparing for a game, you know, and especially now with the social media devices that we have. You know, everywhere they turn, there's going to be 150 phones or 1,000 phones on them, you know, and so all this content being generated, it's fun to be a part of. But the game has changed. One thing though I love about the playoffs and the Super Bowl is that you start seeing real football. I mean, it's win or go home, and nobody wants to go home. So yeah, looking forward to that.
So we have a big crowd. In Canada, because we're rebroadcasting this on our Megapix business channel also, because we like to talk about sports and all that kind of stuff. We're going to take a quick little break, and then when we come back, what I'd like to talk about is we're kind of the same vintage, right? And we can remember a time. I know the young viewers have no idea what I'm talking about, but you know, late 60s, 70s, and mid 80s, the Canadian Football League used to pay their players more and attract the players. But we're going to be back in about a minute or so, 2 minutes for a couple of commercials. And think about that, because you were part of it.
All right. You're watching the exclusive sneak peek of NGBN TV. Like never before, streaming content for men is now available, with more to come. Join us on this journey as we introduce you to content creators and shows that are here to inspire, educate, entertain, celebrate, and support men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. We can't do this without you, so please enjoy this sneak peek, but also share it with your friends and family, and help us connect with companies, organizations, brands, or nonprofits who align with our mission to save men's lives. This is the NGBN TV Sneak Peek.
Welcome to Tripping Through Transformation. I'm your host, Guillaume Poirier, and I'm inviting you on a journey that will expand your outlook on life. Join me as we delve into the realms of mental health, resilience, personal growth, community, and alternative healing. Through personal narratives and expert insights, we'll explore the transformative power of shared stories. Get ready to escape from narrow perceptions and dive into a world of diverse perspectives. Tripping Through Transformation is where stories become pathways to empowerment.
Hey everybody, listen, join me, Doug Brooks, aka known as Big Time, on the Big Time Tour podcast to be seen on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central and on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. Central. You need to come on hang with me. You know why? It's gonna be crazy. Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
That's okay. Hey, everybody, we're back. Before we talk about, the CFL, NFL, 60s, 70s, and 80s, on how crazy it used to be with bringing players, I'd like to take an opportunity without people sponsoring stuff and giving a little bit of money to charity, nothing's going to happen. So we got a big event coming up. Before we get into the fun stuff, why don't you tell everybody about their...
Yeah, well, it's been such a great thing for me to be able to, as we were talking about, support our veteran programs. And so last year I thought, well, if I could get some of my buddies to come play some golf, maybe we can raise some money for our local veteran support programs in Orange County. And last year we kicked it off with our Celebrity and Veterans Invitational. We had Nate Boyer, who is a Green Beret and was a free agent for the Seattle Seahawks. Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer, was my other co-host. And then we had tons of celebrities. Well, this year it's going to be even bigger. And we have Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, Nate's coming back. And, the names go on and on. The cast of the Mayans, Michael Irby, Emilio Rivera, and Joseph Lucera. It's really cool. Shooter McGavern's going to be there. Chris McDonald. You can't have a golf tournament without Shooter. And, we're really looking forward to it. But what's going to make it even bigger is this great opportunity and alliance I have and being a part of the NGBN TV network. They're going to broadcast it live. I mean, think about having a golf tournament and having it streamed nationally. I mean, it's fantastic. All the sponsors are excited. The celebrities are excited. And more importantly, the veterans and the veteran programs. We have a couple of Medal of Honor recipients there. Jack Jacobs and Will Stenson are going to be on point. And we support 4 programs. One is Patriots and Paws, and that's in Anaheim. They provide a warehouse of household goods. You just walk in and go shopping. A veteran pulls up a truck or a flatbed. You need a whole house or just a couch. You just go show up and then you can get it. Care Possible, which is Randy Moratis. It provides free counseling and treatment to veterans and their families. And then there is Veterans Legal Institute, VLI, Antoinette Balta. They provide free legal services to veterans that are trying to get their benefits or housing, and they help them for free. And then there's Merging Vets and Players, which a lot of people know about. MVP, Jay Glazier and Nate Boyer founded that, and that's helping people in both veterans and players together. It's just a great program. So we're going to be posting stuff about that golf tournament coming up. If you can help support it through a sponsorship, we have people flying in from all over the country to play in this thing. So it's really gotten pretty crazy.
And really, that's what it's all about. And, we were teasing about the CFL, NFL. I'm just going to leave it at this because we don't want to monopolize the whole time. It is an NFL event. Incredible to believe that the NFL Super Bowl has evolved to this. I can't even explain how next level it is when you're participating in something like this. And my only question is, we can talk about, the CFL and how they had Joe Theismann, right? They signed up Joe Theismann, Leon McQuay back in the day. And, Tom Kuzno was my favorite linebacker coming out of Ohio State. And how in the world they could actually do that was because monetarily it was better to play in Canada. But my only question about that is, how in the world did you find yourself up in Canada in the World League in the first place, I guess, playing for the Montreal Machine?
Well, it was one of those things where when I got released from Seattle, I didn't have an agent. I took a year off, and I heard about a tryout. Hey, come try out for this new football league. I figured, what the heck? And there's probably about 500 or 600 cats there, and they took 2 of us, and I found my way back. At that time, there weren't many people roaming the earth 6'7", 350 pounds. So it helped being a little bit bigger than most. But then, of course, I had to play. And it was kind of a perfect storm, having a French last name, in Montreal. Coach Dussault was a coach there because he was French. I mean, love him, but that's why we got the job. But it was really cool for me to be up there. I was like a quarterback because I was on all the TV shows. I was asked to go to the governors. I'm signing books and all this crazy stuff that a lineman normally wouldn't do. And they didn't know what to do with me. I had really long hair. I had like braids, earrings, but it's kind of a, no, I wasn't a nut. No, not kind of a nut. I was a nut, but I had a lot of fun, and it was fun to be up there. And I really enjoyed my time.
Well, you came at a time where it was really transitioning with the CFL being good to being kind of financially in trouble kind of stuff. And then playing with the Seattle Seahawks. Walk us through how that adventure was.
Well, that was great. Yeah, I wish I could have played there forever. And you know, it's funny is the NFL is such a business. So I went from starting the first 3 season games. I got a little bit dinged up, and then we had some issues with a DB that got hurt, and another one got in trouble for drugs, and they didn't want to clear a roster spot, but they needed to bring somebody in. So then the number 8 offensive lineman gets to go sell cars, you know. So it's one of those deals, and it was a little bit different dynamic. But one thing that has not changed is that it's a business. And so it was great to be a part of the Seahawks. You know, when a backup offensive lineman can walk into any restaurant or any place they know who you are, I mean, that's a lot of fun. The 12 still supports, like our show I was telling you about with Hawk Talk 12. The 12 supports our show, and we have a bunch flying in to support my golf tournament, and the 12 are awesome.
Well, you know, we're talking about how crazy it is during the NFL Super Bowl. Players can't even go out and hang out anymore. Like, there is no way anybody from either one of those teams can kind of go, hey, let's just go for a drink or something like that. How does that play into the player psyche? And we're going to be breaking for a commercial here in a minute, but how does that get you?
Well, Bruno, I wish I could tell you, because when I played in the 80s, there wasn't one of these, no cell phone, the phone's connected to a wall. You know, there's cameras at best, and there was, you know, we weren't on blast. I really have no idea, you know, what that must be like, and so that dynamic has absolutely changed. But I do know that there's a lot more security involved with the current players, yeah, and especially when it comes time for Super Bowl. But you know, maybe one of my buddies can answer that, and one of my buddies that played in a Super Bowl, but I never got that far. We beat the Raiders for a wild card, and it was the best day of my life, because I got a check for $10,000. It was huge, almost triple my salary.
Wow. Well, I got to thank Dave. You know, thanks a lot for coming on. It's been not only having you on, but you've been a great guy supporting the NGBN.TV and also our network, Megapix. But lots of fun. We're going to hang out here for a couple of days. And, you know, after we come back from this commercial, I'm going to have the great Ian Hill, the founder. Do we call him the Godfather? El Padrino. And he's gonna come on and share a couple of thoughts. So enjoy the commercial.
You're watching the exclusive sneak peek of NGBN TV. Like never before, streaming content for men is now available, with more to come. Join us on this journey as we introduce you to content creators and shows that are here to inspire, educate, entertain, celebrate, and support men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. We can't do this without you. So please enjoy this sneak peek, but also share it with your friends and family, and help us connect with companies, organizations, brands, or nonprofits who align with our mission to save men's lives. This is the NGBN TV Sneak Peek.
What's up? My name is Chris Rubio, and I'm the host of The Rubio Method on the NGBN TV network.
Focus up.
Long snapping and life are very, very similar.
We have a great show that's going to educate you, inspire you, and most importantly, entertain you. I say most importantly because that's what I really want to do. But we're just kind of going on this journey together, and I'm going to make sure as we go on this journey together, you're going to have a good time while doing it. So check out the Rubio Method on NGBN TV.
Hey everybody, listen, join me, Doug Brooks, aka known as Big Time, on the Big Time Show podcast to be seen on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central and on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. Central. You need to come on, hang with me. You know what? It's gonna be crazy. Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
Hey, you were back. And I just want to tell everybody on the NGBN.TV network, we got the man who put it together. No, I am el hombre. No, but I'm being serious. Like this would not have happened. And it's people like you, Ian, that put together this Radio Row. People might think that it's just the CBS, or NBC and all that kind of stuff. It is really a foundational approach to broadcasting that's changing the world. So anyways, I thank you from the bottom of my heart to have you down here. So
well, you know what? We're excited to have Megapix Media broadcasting live. I don't see TSN. Do you see a TSN anywhere? I don't see CBC. They're not anywhere. But Megapix Media is here. Megapix and Bruno and all that comes with it, which I don't know if you guys know Bruno, but there's a lot that comes with it, right? A lot that comes with it. But no, you're right. We're excited. There's literally hundreds of broadcast networks from all around the world. We got our good friends from Spanish language just over there. And I saw one of the Korean networks is here. And then, of course, Bruno's here, right?
And I certainly appreciate the opportunity to come down here and spread our wings with our Canadian broadcast network and Sideline Sports. We're going to have them tomorrow. What a crew, unbelievable ground level, hardworking broadcasters. And I just want to throw out a little bit of shout out because on the NGBN.TV network, you got a great show. Canadians know these guys, Chevy and Nasty, and just got off the phone with Randy. I am so sad he's not down here. And Sheldon, oh man, he's calling me. And Randy, big shout out to you and Sheldon. And you guys, you guys belong here. You really do. We got shows like the Pat McAfee show just behind us, and I had a great opportunity to talk to the producer, and everybody's so giving here. And the fallacy about now if you're trying to get in here without a pass, they're not that nice. But once you're in here, there's a fraternity of it's a community, and everybody's willing to help. You can talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. And so Randy, and Nasty, you know what? You guys got to watch the show. It's a great show on NGBN.TV. And my Megapix family out there, Miranda was supposed to be here, and that would have been good. We're gonna get her, I think, live. Okay, so a lot of people know who Miranda is. So great collaborator. But Ian, you know what can you tell us about one of the main motivators you had to come to the Super Bowl with your network? And I'm going to lead the witness about, I don't know if you want to talk about the conversation you had with somebody over there with me, but that might be one of them.
Well, we're fortunate to be here, our partner, Sideline Sports, and their tremendous efforts. So shout out to all the boys at Sideline. They'll be on your show tomorrow. NGBN TV is a network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And in our essence, we're about one thing. We're about helping men. And helping men specifically move from the precipice of a decision that they could never come back from. And we want to save men's lives. Middle-aged men are 70% more likely to succumb to suicide than any other segment of the population. And whether that's a farmer in St. Paul or whether that's a timber guy in Winfield, Alabama, construction guys that work in the patch, and farmers are most likely. And so we wanted to do something about that. We wanted to create a network where they could feel supported, where they'd be celebrated, where they'd be educated and inspired, and most of all, entertained. And so great entertainment from sports to music to talk. And in between all of that, a mental health message. Destigmatize the conversation. Provide some meaningful information and some tangible tools. And so whether it's the good people of Canada or whether it's in the United States, we cover both sides of the North American border. And you mentioned Randy and you mentioned Sheldon, Nasty. And of course, Megapix has been a big part of the effort in Canada. So all of us combining, all of us working hard because you're worth it. Too many fathers, sons, uncles, nephews, neighbors, brothers, coworkers. And so we're doing something here at NGBN.
The one thing that resonated, you're meeting a lot of people here. Oh, sorry, I should rephrase that. You're introducing me to a lot of people. We're walking around, making things happen. And I feel like the Super Bowl in itself is a football game. It's a huge event. And it's a bit of a pause where you're having a hard time in life, and especially our age, our vintage. You're having a hard time. You're trying to figure stuff out. You think you're alone. You think you're more alone. And I'm not an expert. But what I notice in your conversations and other people's conversations are that people say, you know what? I'm thinking something bad, and the Super Bowl comes on, and you delay 2 hours, which saves your life. But I think what I found mostly around here is more and more people. You have this like rescue squad, and all around North America. And all of a sudden you hear somebody, like you said, Alabama said, hey, you know what? I'm having a hard time. And you dispatch somebody. Let's talk about that. It's not an official network, but it's a community.
For sure. We knew that if we were going to launch a television network that would support men, that, let's be frank, social media or a broadcast network will give an escape, but can they really save somebody? Well, we had to partner with best in class organizations that served men or that included men or that were driven for men and by men. And so we've now partnered with up to 200,000 men represented by a number of different organizations. And as you said, we can literally dispatch men to a crisis situation. And as you alluded to, that happened just a few weeks ago. We got a phone call from a lady in Texas who said, we have someone in crisis. And we were able to, through the hard work of F3, which is a large men's group all around the United States, we were able to dispatch men immediately. And within 2 hours, somebody was at that person's door.
You know, let's take a little fun time here. Got 30 seconds. Thanks again for everybody. Who do you pick? Do you pick the San Francisco 49ers or the Kansas City Chiefs? Sorry about that.
It's pretty simple. It's 49ers all the way. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. It's all about the Niners.
All right, I'm going to bet you a Spalumbo sandwich when we get back there. I'm just going to take the Chiefs. All right, just cause. All right, we're on. Hey, Jenna, thank you very much. Ian, Sideline Sports, NGBN.TV, Megapix, rock and roll.